Young offenders who end up in the criminal justice system often do not have parents involved in their lives or positive role models. But a program at the Nebraska Youth Correctional Facility in Omaha is helping the teens remain on the straight and narrow once they're released. Reporter Joe Cadat on how it works.
The Nebraska Youth Corrections Facility in Omaha prides itself on using alternative ways to keep young offenders out of trouble when they're released from prison. A mentor program that pairs volunteers with inmates is not only keeping the majority of participants from reoffending, it's saving lives. 21-year-old Orlando Neal returns to where he was sentenced about 3 years ago for trying to steal a car. But he's not going back as an inmate. He's returning to thank his friend, role model, and mentor, Morris Williford, who Neal credits with saving his life.
Thank you, Mr. Williford. You changed my life for the better. If it wasn't for you, I'd probably be dead, back in prison, or even worse, I don't know, be all alone.
What does it take to save someone from themselves? An hour of games and a conversation every Tuesday.
Having that person that comes and visits you every day, every week, it's a life changer, really.
Having someone from outside the razor wire befriend an inmate is part of a larger effort to reduce the likeliness they'll reoffend after being released. Of 28 former inmates who have had mentors through the program, only 3 have wound up back behind bars. That's a recidivism rate of 11%, much lower than the entire Nebraska prison system's rate of 32%. While the program is mending the lives of offenders like Neal, who didn't grow up with positive role models, it's also healing to the mentors.
We really can't find a word for it because it's more than just joyful. I don't know, there's really not a word for it. It's just something that you just feel like, wow.
Williford, a former inmate himself, says helping inmates change their lives around is part of his purpose in life.
I did the best I could. And lives were actually changed.
Williford says there are a number of kids who grow up without positive role models, and volunteer mentors are greatly needed.
To know that you can make a change in somebody's life instead of complaining about society or what's going on, get out there and make a change.
Williford also says it's a mistake to assume that criminal offenders can't change their lives around.
You can't really judge a person unless you walked in their shoes, and you don't know really what a person is thinking and why he's in that situation or why this occurred unless you go through some of the hard things that people go through.
Inmate Marco Ramos told his mentor for the first time what he means to him.
I don't have my father in my life, and I kind of see you as a father figure, and I don't really say how much I thank you, but really appreciate you. Some to take me away from the prison setting to come here and sit and talk.
For Ramos and mentor John Simon, it's a moment to reflect on the value of their unique friendship.
It's encouraging, just to come and just be a part of somebody's life and help make a difference in somebody's life. It's really gratifying. It's encouraging.
Prison staff tell me that the first 3 months after an inmate is released are critical for mentors to maintain contact with their mentees because offenders often don't have a social safety net on the outside. Joe Cadat, KMTV Action 3 News.